Hey, I'm Adam.
And I'm Brian.
Of Everyone Has a Podcast, and you're listening to Pop Goes Your World.
If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes. And while you're there, please leave us a rating and review.
And now it's time for our feature presentation.
I'm Chris McBrien, and the pop culture from Generation X is everything to me.
And I'm Derek Myers, and I'm here to educate Chris on the great pop culture of today's generation.
Episode 338, Creepshow Movie Review. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Chris McBrien, along with Derek Myers, as always, and this is Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations. This week, we're back with a movie review. Halloween was pretty recent, so we thought it might be a good idea to take a look at a quote-unquote horror film. And as you know, since I'm perpetually stuck in the past, I went with a movie from the 80s. Shocker, I know. I had us watch 1982's Creepshow. But before we get to our movie review, Derek, what pop culture can you educate me on this week, my friend?
Hey, Chris. Well, I only had a chance to watch a couple of things, but you'll be happy to know that one of my things is documentary, which I'll save till the end.
Oh, nice. I haven't played this song in a while.
Yeah, well,
awesome.
Exactly. So I've mentioned this on many shows in the past. I have a DVR on my TV, and I constantly record movies that I think, I want to watch this eventually. And the number just gets higher and higher and higher. And then my wife gives me the stern talking to and says, start watching this crap or I'm erasing it. So I've been trying to do that. And so anyway, one of the movies that I had on there was a movie called Burn After Reading. It's I think it was written and directed by the Coen brothers, if I remember correctly.
It was. I remember that one.
Huge cast. I was like, I didn't really know much about it. I sort of vaguely remembered the trailers. I remember it sort of came and went, and a lot of people were like, this is one of those great movies that, you're like, how did I miss this? Anyway, didn't know anything about it other than what I just said. Thought I'm going to give it a go. This movie was garbage. It was terrible.
I'm so glad to hear this. So my wife dragged me to the movie theater to see that movie years ago when it came out. And she's like, we got to go see this movie. I've heard good things about it. I thought it was absolute crap.
It was terrible. I don't understand why anyone would like this. I mean, the cast is next level great.
Oh, yeah. They're amazing.
And I guess they're all just like, hey, we're going to get paid. We're going to get to hang out with our buddies. We're going to get to work with these people we like. But man, I'm watching it for like 40 minutes going, what is this about? Like, when's it going to get to something I give a crap about? And I was like, it was a hot mess. I mean, I'm glad I watched it, but I'm glad I never have to watch it again. So anyway, that was the one. But then, in light of the recent passing of Robert Redford, which we have talked about on the last few shows, one of my podcasts I listened to, they were doing a review of the movie Quiz Show, which I really like and haven't seen in a long time. So I listened to their review and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch again. So I had a chance to watch Quiz Show this week. First, have you seen Quiz Show before?
I have not. It's like from 99 or something like that.
90. I think it's a little earlier than that, but yeah, I think it
definitely
came out the same year
remember
as Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump, because they were all nominated at the same time.
Oh, so that would have been 94. It was.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I remember it was really was a big deal. It was a critical darling, up for a lot of Oscars, but I never did see it. No, it was about like the scandals or something in the back in the 60s with the game shows or something, right? Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah, no. So anyway, I had a chance to go back and watch it again, and this movie's great. Like, I remember really enjoying it, and I've seen it a handful of times, but not in a long time. So I went back and watched it. It was on Disney+. This movie's great. This is a 10 out of 10 movie all day long. So if you've never seen Quiz Show or it's been a while, I would say carve out 2 hours and go and watch it. I think you'll really enjoy it. It was quite good. I was very pleased, very happy that I went back and gave it a rewatch.
Good.
And then finally, I watched a documentary.
For 40 days and 40 nights, he watches documentaries. He likes to learn about the world. It's Derek's Documentaries. Derek's Documentaries.
Oh, please do educate me.
So today on Netflix, a new documentary dropped, and I watched it right away. It's a documentary about Eddie Murphy, and it's called Being Eddie. And
wow.
It's basically they interview him and he talks about everything. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, even if you're just sort of he's okay kind of fan, it's still great. But I know you really like Eddie Murphy. I really like Eddie Murphy. And it was very, very good. Ooh. I really liked it. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. And it's great. Yeah, solid. A+ for me. I mean, I love a good documentary on the best of times. And if it's on a topic I really like or a person I'm really interested in or anything along those lines, that always gets a little nudge from me. But yeah, no, this one's fantastic. So there's really not much I need to say on this one. If you're a fan of Eddie Murphy, it's on Netflix. It just dropped. Give it a watch. I'm sure it's going to get great reviews.
Okay. I'll definitely have to watch that because I definitely do like Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. So I got something for you. So my son, my youngest son, he's 12. He likes watching these dumb kid shows that are basically like kids sitcoms. You know what I mean? Like, there's usually like a family. His favorite show is The Thundermans. It's a family of like superheroes that are trying to like blend in with normal people. And so he's watched a bunch of these kids sitcoms and they all have the same format. And the one thing that is consistent on all these shows, they have hot mom, schlubby dad. It's like a constant thing. Like the mom is always too hot
skinny
for the
wife.
dad.
That's a TV trope.
I know. It is very prominent in these kids sitcoms, let me tell you. The mom is like way too hot for the dad. So we're watching the Thundermans the other day. And like all of us, the whole family, sitting there watching it. And I mentioned this. I'm like, the mom is way too good looking for that dad. So I say to my kids as I'm like, you know, the mom doesn't match the dad, kids. Like she's really, really super pretty. And he's just a fat slob. It's just like in our family. Like mom is way too pretty for me. my wife turns to me and she's like, give me a break. She's like, what do you want something? I'm like, jeez. So I realize I'm not just the fat schlubby dad, like from these kid shows. I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of these kid shows. I'm the fat schlubby and no respect, you know, like none, I tell you. Jeez. Oh, but in addition to that, I have this.
Here's your dad joke of the week.
Derek, I don't think I've ever shared this with you, but I don't know if you know this, but my grandfather actually died at Pearl Harbor. I'm told his last words were, "This movie's a piece of shit."
Wow, that joke drowned in the telling.
Is that a pledge pin on your uniform?
Doctor.
Doctor. Detroit. Oh, yes, the Haile Selassie Pavilion. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Whiskey.
Fun prophylactic, soiled.
Bring him home.
You're my friend. I'm going to try and help you.
Randy Jackson from the Jackson 5.
Really?
In Philadelphia, it's worth $50. Stop. Look at that escargot. All right, it was over to me this week. I wanted to do a movie that was a horror movie. Like I mentioned, Halloween was just recent. And I know, Derek, you don't really like horror movies. So I wanted to go with something.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, you don't like them. So I wanted to pick a movie this week that was sort of campy and has like a comic book feel to it. So Derek, you watched it for the first time. You had never seen Creepshow. In fact, when I mentioned it last week, you were like, I never even heard of this movie. So you got a chance to watch Creepshow this week. What were your initial thoughts?
So I think I had heard, or maybe you had mentioned that Creepshow was like an anthology. It's a bunch of like shorter movies slapped together. And I think in my mind, I was thinking of the Twilight Zone movie. Because I think that was done the same way, right? Where it's a bunch of shorter movies slapped together. Yeah, like not that, and I've never seen that one either, but for some reason, once someone, I think either you or my wife had mentioned, oh, that's the one with all the short stories. I thought, oh, is that the one I'm about to watch? So that was sort of what I thought I was going to watch. And obviously that's not what it was. But yeah, this movie is terrible. It is so bad. I almost called you halfway through and said, yeah, I've watched the first one. Can I stop now? But I was like, no, I better work my way through. And I get that it's campy now, but I'm like, was it supposed to be in the moment? Because I wasn't sure. You know, sometimes you watch these old movies and when they come out, everyone takes them so seriously. And then 10 years later, they take on a life of their own where people are like, oh, you got to just go back at it now. Look at it like it's campy. It's getting a second life. and I wasn't sure how I was supposed to be watching this. Like, is it is it serious? Is it not? But no, I didn't really. I just found, honestly, I found most of the stories were just dumb, or like, what's the point? I couldn't find any redeeming qualities about this at all. So no, I really disliked this movie. I had to sit through the whole damn thing, and I'm just glad I didn't have to pay for it. But that's 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
Oh, well, I mean, like, I know you don't like horror movies, but I thought, like, you like comic books. And it's when you watch this movie, it's almost like reading a comic book, the way the style it's done. So I thought I may be able to get you to like a horror movie for once, but obviously not. I had not seen this movie probably since the 80s, but I liked it. Again, I thought it was really good. I would say that it's original, and I'm always harping on that. So, and the thing was, for here, I thought, like, for Halloween, my wife kept saying, she's like, I want to watch a horror movie. I want to watch one that we can all watch, like, as a family, you know? And so I thought, well, I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and we can watch Creepshow, because the thing with it is, like, the kids can watch. It's not restricted. There are a couple gory scenes, which we'll get to, but overall, it's not too bad. There's no real language, or there's no, like, sexual content or anything like that. So I thought it was okay for the kids to watch. Pretty campy. And so then, we all watched it together. Now, my 12-year-old didn't watch it. He only likes shows where there's a hot mom and a schlubby dad, you know? So, and he gets that around the house, apparently. But my 16-year-old, he actually liked it. He liked it when we were watching it. My wife was, like, looking at Pinterest. Maybe she was on Tinder. I don't know, looking for her husband. She was swiping left on me. I don't know. But my take on this, I feel like it's the perfect blend of, like, camp, horror, and thrills. I don't know. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
No, I hard disagree from me. I did not find it entertaining. If I had paid to see this movie in the theater, not that I think I ever would have wanted to see this in the theater, I would have probably asked for my money back. Like, I honestly, if I went to see this in the theater, I wouldn't even have stayed all the way through unless I was, like, on a date or something.
Well, interestingly, like, it did pretty well in the theater. So we're going to go back to 1982. What it was the number 1 movie at the box office that year, Derek? Do you know?
82.
Yeah.
That wasn't Jedi, right? No, Jedi was the next year, 83?
Yeah, 83.
82. No, I should just write these down. You ask me all the time and I keep missing them. Was it... No, I don't know. I'm not going to get it quickly enough.
It was E.T., the extra.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And by a lot. It made like $359
Yeah,
million.
no kidding.
The number 2 movie that year, funny enough, was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Even though it came out the year before, it was still making money in 82. Rocky 3 was in 3rd. On Golden Pond was 4th. And An Officer and a Gentleman was 5th. And then rounding out the top 5, number 6 was Porky's. Number 7, Arthur. Number 8 was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Poltergeist was 9th. And The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas was 10. So, interesting year at the movies. Creepshow finished in the 38th spot. It made $21 million, so it did pretty good. It finished just below Cheech and Chong's Things Are Tough All Over and 48 Hours. 48 Hours came out in December. So it made more of its money the next year.
All its money the next year, yeah.
And Creepshow finished just ahead of Neighbors with Belushi and Aykroyd, and Night Shift, and My Favorite Year. 1982 was pretty good for movies. So there were some other good movies at the box office that year, even like up a bit higher. Like Time Bandits made 33 million. Taps, Sharky's Machine, Young Doctors in Love made $30 million. That's one of my favorite movies of the 80s. Tron made $29 million. The World According to Garp, Victor Victoria, Blade Runner, Fast Times at Ridgemont High were all just above Creepshow. That was a pretty strong year for movies. 82 was pretty good. But Creepshow was given, it was basically, it opened in Boston in July of 1982, and they gave it like a 4-week sort of test release, just to get a sense of, how it would do in the market. Mm-hmm. And it had some successful results. So it convinced Warner Brothers that, hey, this movie could be a hit. So they put it into wide release. And then in November of 1982, it went wide release. And in its opening weekend, Creepshow grossed almost $6 million in 1,100 theaters, ranking it number 1 at the U.S. box office. Any idea of what movie it bumped out of the first place from the box office.
Sorry, and which was the month again?
November of 1982. Creepshow was number one at the box office, and it bumped a movie out that was number one before it.
Well, I mean, could it possibly have bumped E.T.?
No, it actually bumped out First Blood.
Oh, okay.
First Blood, the first Rambo movie. And,
Sure.
And like I say, it grossed $21 million, Creepshow did. And so it was the highest grossing horror movie that year. And when you think about the movie itself, in order to give it that sort of comic book feel, which we'll talk about a bit, George A. Romero, the director, hired Tom Savini to do all the comic-like effects in it. So Tom Savini was like a master makeup artist. I'm sure you're familiar with his work.
Yep.
You've heard of him, right?
Very
I met
much,
him one
yep.
time. I met him it was in 1991. They had the Fangoria. Remember the magazine Fangoria? Over here? Yeah. So in 1991, Fangoria had the Weekend of Horror in Toronto. It was like a Comic-Con before Comic-Cons became big. And man, it was a different time. Tom Savini was just walking around the vendor area, like having a smoke. And I talked to him there, and I talked to him at the back of the theater when they were screening a movie. He was like really friendly, really great guy. I enjoyed meeting him. And this movie, I love the fact that it's a collaboration between Stephen King and George A. Romero. It's like pairing up two great masterminds of horror,
Yeah, that was one of the things I was actually hopeful about. Was I was like, well, man, it's got good pedigree. Maybe we're going to get something really great out of this. Not so much.
Not so much for you. Well, George A. Romero, obviously known for directing the Night of the Living Dead series. Night of the Living Dead from 68, Dawn of the Dead in 78, and then Day of the Dead in 85. Probably three of the most influential horror films ever made. Like, they basically contributed to this whole zombies and modern pop culture, that's for sure. He also directed an action movie called Night Riders. You ever heard of that one?
Is that the one with David Hasselhoff and the talking car?
No, that was a TV show, Knight Rider. No, Night Riders was about knights that joust, but they do it on motorcycles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Crazy. It was also...
So let's watch that. That sounds good.
It was interesting. It had Tom Savini in it and Ed Harris as well. George A. Romero also directed Monkey Shines, which was a horror movie in the 80s. But, I mean, his best film, I still think, was the original Night of the Living Dead, which Tom Savini, by the way, did a remake of that in, 1990. But I don't know. I think that his best movie was Night of the Living Dead. Although I do like Creepshow, too. I know you didn't. So a piece of trivia on George A. Romero. He began his career doing, short films and TV commercials, and he was from Pittsburgh. And one of his early works, he did a segment for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in which Fred Rogers underwent a tonsillectomy. And George A. Romero did that because Rogers did his show to Pittsburgh and Romero was from Pittsburgh as well. He shot Night of the Living Dead outside of Pittsburgh, and Night Riders was shot in Pittsburgh as well. So he always kind of stayed in that area. So he obviously, George A. Romero paired up with Stephen King. And what can we say about Stephen King? Greatest horror writer of all time. But with him, it's not even just horror, his dramatic work, like Stand By Me, which was, from The Body, and Shawshank Redemption, which was from Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, both from different seasons. Man, oh man.
Stephen Green King. Mile, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, did you read any Stephen King, when you were younger or even now? Do you read any of his work?
I've read all the ones you just talked about. No, I've read a handful of Stephen King. Again, he's not really my genre, right? I'm not really into horror, and so that's not really my bag, so to speak. But any of the ones that he's done that have been a little more sci-fi or a little more just very sort of mainstream drama, those are the kinds of things I am interested in and have read a bunch that are sort of in that path.
I read a lot of his stuff when I was a teenager in high school. I don't know. I thought it was great. His movie adaptations he's an interesting guy because when it comes to his books and turning his books into movies, it's hit and miss for me. Because I think that when you read Stephen King, he's such a descriptive writer you get such a picture in your mind when he's explaining things that's really hard to put on screen. I feel, because it's just so descriptive that the director has to just nail it right on. And also he just has such a style about him. It's hard to, the one director I would say that has been able to interpret King better than anyone else is actually Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner's done very good.
That's fair.
Yeah. For whatever reason, he just gets it. So I don't know. I would say that. Okay. So we like to talk about the cast about our movies. So let's start with Hal Holbrook. He was Henry Northrup in The Crate, the segment. He died in 2021. He started out as a Tony Award-winning actor on Broadway, and then he got into TV and movies. He was in Sons of Anarchy. Did you ever watch that?
I did, but I don't remember him in that.
He was Katie Sagal's dad in that.
Oh, okay.
You watched The West Wing, didn't you? He was the Assistant Secretary of State in The West Wing.
Yeah, but he's only in like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, not a lot. He was also
I do remember him from that, yeah.
In
Designing Women.
He did that. But probably best known for playing Deep Throat in All the President's Men. That would like sort of his career-defining role. Also in The Crate, in that segment was Adrienne Barbeau. She was Billy, Wilma Northrup. She definitely broke out as B. Arthur's daughter on Maude. But she was in Swamp Thing and Back to School and The Fog. She was in Escape from New York. Yeah, that we did here on the show. Safe to say, though, she was probably known more for her chest size than she was for acting ability, you know?
No.
But, true, yeah. But she actually...
I didn't even notice.
I know. She got started in TV. She did shows like Quincy and 8 is Enough and The Love Boat. So, you know, she did that. Ed Harris, we got to mention him. Man... He's a pretty critical darling, eh? Like, he's been nominated 4 times for Oscars. He was nominated in 1996 for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Apollo 13. 1999, Best Supporting Actor for The Truman Show. 2001, he was nominated for Best Actor in Pollock. And in 2003, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in The Hours. So...
Nice.
It's been pretty good. He didn't win any. In 96, he lost to Kevin Spacey for The Usual Suspects. And in 99, I think might have been the closest he would have been to winning. You've seen The Truman Show, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he was really, really good in that. But he lost to James Coburn, which I think was more of like a legacy.
For Affliction?
Oscar.
Yeah, that was definitely a body of work.
Exactly, I agree. So I think I would say that he started out his career and he started to get a lot of recognition as a serious actor when he did The Right Stuff. Remember that movie?
Yes. I agree.
And then also
didn't he play John Glenn in that?
I believe so. Yes.
I think
right.
so.
And another thing about it, now it's rumored, who knows for sure. I mean, they never came out and admitted anything, but it's rumored that he was the voice in Field of Dreams. So, very interesting.
I had not heard that.
Yeah,
but
piece of trivia.
Yeah.
Okay, so other people that were in this movie, Leslie Nielsen. We got to talk about him. My son, my 16-year-old, was just shocked that Leslie Nielsen was in this because just this past summer, I introduced my son to Police Squad, Naked Gun, and Airplane.
Nice.
So he just couldn't believe it. But
surely you must be joking.
Exactly. But I was like telling my son, I'm like, Leslie Nielsen started out as a serious actor. You know, he was cast in Airplane with a bunch of other serious actors. That's what made the whole movie work so well. So, and obviously he was so famous from Airplane, he sort of parlayed that to a whole new career in comedy. But right before this movie came out, he also did Prom Night. And I always remember he was on The Love Boat. He was on the same episode that Jamie Lee Curtis was on. They didn't make
Please tell me they hooked up.
No, they didn't hook up. No. That would have been an
Sorry,
early
Leslie, man. You had your chance, bud.
That would have been an early example, though, of hot mom, schlubby dad. So, there's that. I want to mention Fritz Weaver. So he was the guy that played Hal Holbrook's friend in The Crate. For me, he's like one of those guys. You know? I'm like, looking like, where do I know this guy from? He was in Failsafe and Marathon Man back in the 60s and 70s, but he was in the Thomas Crown Affair The one from 99.
Yeah, that's
You
where I
liked that
remembered him
movie.
from. Yeah, he was only in a couple of scenes though, but his voice is quite distinct, and that's what I picked up on right away. I'm like, where do I know this guy? And then I looked. I'm like, yeah, Thomas Crown. He's on the golf course. He's one of the guys he bets with.
Right, and like you said, it's really his voice is very distinct too, right? But before this movie, he basically just did TV spots. He was on like Quincy and Hawaii Five-0 and Magnum PI. Oh, and of course, he was also on Wonder Woman. My wife was shocked watching this. She couldn't believe Ted Danson was in this movie. She was like, oh my God.
No, I had no idea either. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it was 82, and Cheers came out the same year as this. So obviously he went on to lots of success with that show and like movies like Three Men and a Baby. My wife likes him because she watched him in the show The Good Place on Netflix. I didn't watch that with her, but more recently he was in the absolutely fantastic Man on the Inside. Have you watched that?
I watched half of the first season. I didn't really care for it.
Oh man, I really believe that might be the best work of his career. It's so good. Oh man, it's so good. I really like that. They're coming out with season 2. I can't wait. So other people I want to mention for this movie, E.G. Marshall. He's in the last segment with all the cockroaches. He was in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And of course he was in one of your all-time favorite movies, 12 Angry Men.
That's where I recognized him from right away. Again, it was the voice. I recognized his voice.
You know where else you probably maybe recognize him from, but just didn't notice it? He was the president of the United States in Superman 2.
Again, I saw that in his credits, but I didn't recognize him from that.
Yeah, he looks a little bit different in that. But Stephen King obviously plays Geordie Farrell, and that he should really stick to writing. He's a terrible actor. He doesn't even look comfortable on camera. Don't you agree?
Totally agree.
Oh, man. I want to give a shout out to Don Kiefer. So he played the janitor who discovers the crate in the segment, The Crate.
Oh, okay.
You know, he flips the coin and he's, and he goes down. He was the wino outside the courthouse in Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. He asked Jim Carrey for money and Jim Carrey's like, no, you'll just buy booze with it. So he flips him off.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, that's where I remember it from too. So like you mentioned, this movie is an anthology made up of 5 segments. And then, there's kind of another segment that like ties all the stories together. It reminded me of the storytelling technique in Heavy Metal. Have you ever watched that movie, Heavy Metal?
Yeah, Heavy Metal was great. I haven't seen it in a while, but soundtrack, next level.
Yeah, like where the young girl is like basically in the house and there's that glowing orb and it makes her watch all the stories, unfold. It's a very similar storytelling technique as this movie. Obviously, it's a boy who's reading a horror comic. And I should mention that this movie really is an homage to the EC horror comics of the 1950s.
Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt, Vaults of Horror, The Haunt of Fear. So this kid's got this comic book and his dad takes it away from him. And his dad's like just abusive as hell. Played by Tom Atkin, by the way. Who was uncredited.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Uncredited in the role of the dad. He did a bunch of horror movies in the 80s. He was in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. He's in The Fog. Probably best known as Michael Hunsaker in Lethal Weapon.
That's right. Yeah, Lethal Weapon. That's where I recognize him from right away.
Just a total in this movie. And maybe that's why he was uncredited. I don't know. But at the one scene, he slaps the kid. He slaps him so hard. He leaves his handprint on the kid's face. And the mom is upset, but like she doesn't like really freak out or anything. She's obviously scared of this abusive idiot too. So anyway, I should mention the kid, the play that his name is Joe Hill. He's Stephen King's son.
Yeah, I read that in the trivia, but I didn't recognize him. He was just a little kid at the time, but
no, but I mean, yeah, you wouldn't know that, right? But he's gone on to be a successful author as well. So at one point, when they were shooting this movie, they did a break in filming, and Stephen King took him to McDonald's and left him in all of his makeup. So he had like all these bruises and cuts and like stuff on his face. And the girl at the drive-through window called the cops.
Nice.
Okay, so let's talk about each of the segments. Okay, you didn't really like them, but there's the Father's Day segment. I I don't know. It's campy, but it also has a couple of jump scares in it. Like when he comes out of the grave, and also when the woman, like it was like the maid, falls against the glass window and stuff. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. And then the corpse, they used a mix of real maggots and Rice Krispies in the corpse to kind of look like maggots. And one thing I always wanted to mention about that scene, I don't know why, I like the dance that they're doing, that Ed Harris and his wife are doing. I don't know why. I thought it was good. I don't know. So
it was probably one of those scenes where they didn't know what music they were going to get the rights to, so they're just like, just dance to like a beat, and then they put in the music after the fact.
Probably true. So you didn't like that at all? My son was watching it when Ed Harris falls into the grave, because like there's like a hole left when the corpse comes out, and he falls in, and then the headstone starts moving. He's like, "Get up! Get up!" You know, he's like yelling at this. Why aren't you moving? Because he just lays there, and then the thing ends up falling on him. So that's the first segment. Then the next segment is the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill, and it was actually a reference to a Bob Dylan song, The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll. I like how it opens. He's watching this old WWF on TV, and he's drinking Ripple wine. I was like, that was pretty funny. And then, you know, obviously he opens up the meteor, and it starts to like grow everywhere. I like the scene when he takes his clothes off and he goes to get in the tub, and he looks down at his crotch. He's like, "Oh no, not there too."
Yeah, that made me laugh.
When he gets completely covered in the green grass, I was like, he looks just like Jim Carrey in the live action Grinch movie.
I thought the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
what, did he turn into the Grinch here? Like,
Exactly. So I don't know. I thought that sequence was, it was okay. It was very campy. I didn't like Stephen King in it that much, but then
I did like in that one when he's like, again, it was sort of the time, right? Where he's imagining, what can I sell this for? And he's like imagining selling it for $200. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have $200. So to me, that was just sort of
of its time, but also
of its
too, like,
time, yeah.
Like even still, like $200 wasn't a lot of money even back in 1982. But for him, this hick living on this farm by himself, like drinking Ripple wine, $200 is a lot of money to him, right? That's
well,
his
and if
vision.
if it's a throwback even to like the 50s and 60s horror comics, then in that
Even more
context,
so,
the 200 would be very, it's like what would be a large enough amount to make it worth my while, but a small enough amount that they would take it seriously. You know, it's the whole Austin Powers. I want $1 billion, trillion, zillion dollars, right? It's like, gotta be reasonable.
And I don't know if the whole thing was a throwback to the 50s or not, because in the next segment, something to tide you over, he's using like VCRs and TVs and tech.
Yeah.
So that it
well,
could be.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we're watching that scene, and my wife was just freaked out. She was freaked out. She's like, she was like horrified that these people were buried up to their necks and the tide was coming in. She's like, "Oh, this is so awful." Like so she was pretty creeped out. And during that scene, my son pointed out to me the ashtray that's used in the first segment, you know, in the flashback when Bedelia kills the old man, but she hits him in the head with that heavy marble ashtray. The same ashtray shows up in Leslie Nielsen's house. So I got to give my credit to my son for spotting that one. So I was like, wow, that's really good. So I went back and looked it up. The ashtray is in every single one of the segments.
The same thing. I didn't catch that either. I noticed it in the trivia. I was like, oh,
yeah. My son noticed. I got to give him credit for that. Yeah, it shows up in the one with Stephen King, the Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. It's next to the cash box when he goes to the Department of Meteors to try and sell it.
Oh, okay.
And then in the crate, it's on the writing desk when Henry writes the letter to Wilma. And in the last segment, they're creeping up on you. The soap dish when he's washing his hands, it's right there. And then also it's in the prologue when he starts stabbing the voodoo doll at the end. It's sitting there on his desk. So it shows up in every single scene. So I don't know. But going back to something to tide you over, one thing I wanted to mention. I love this scene when the tide starts coming up and when Ted Danson goes fully underwater. It looks like it's shot in like a fishbowl. and there's like seaweed all around him. It's really, really hot lit. And then the air goes out of his nose. I don't know. I liked that, the way it was shot. I thought it was pretty good. So then we move on to the crate. Hang on,
let me go back. Let's go back to that one for a minute.
Okay.
So one of the things, so that segment, I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. I felt that, like, again, these stories to me are just so dumb. But for that one, it's like, I didn't feel we got enough of the story. Like, why was he there? Why was the other woman buried? Like, what was the intent? Like, it just felt like we're going to create this outrageous scenario and give you no closure. Like, I don't know. There was just way too many unanswered questions for me.
Yeah, my wife was asking too. She wasn't really paying attention. She was on her phone, probably on Tinder, looking for a hotter husband. I don't know. But she's like, what's going on? So I'm like, well, obviously Ted Danson is having an affair with Leslie Nielsen's wife, and he catches them. So he's like trying to do this to them to get them back, in some way. So I think that's sort of what was going on, right? But yeah, I guess I didn't really explain it. So then I want to move on to the crate, because I think that was the best one of all of them. I think it was based on a short story by Stephen King.
Okay.
He first published it in 1979 in Gallery magazine. And the thing was, up until that segment, the other segments were pretty heavy on the camp, but the crate is actually pretty scary and gory. When the grad student goes under the stairs and the ape grabs him, like, jeez, it rips his face. It leaves all these like gashes in his face, and it starts to eat him. Like, God, it was really gory. I thought, I don't know. I really liked that segment. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I think of all the stories, that's the one that I found the most entertaining. And when you're doing an anthology like this, you sort of save your best for the end anyway. So I kind of figured, well, if I ride this thing out, they should get better and better. And then, of course, I thought the last one was terrible, but we'll get to that in a minute.
It's funny you mention that, because you're right. You want to kind of save it up and like get better and better. So then you go to the crate, which is a great segment. And then one of the major faults I have with this movie is the last segment. They're creeping up on you. It was not very good, because I think for me it was completely devoid of camp, but it's not scary either. It's just dumb. So yeah. If you rank them for me, what do you think was the best one? Obviously the crate.
I think the crate was the best one.
Yep, I think I would say that was number one as well.
I think maybe the underwater one.
Me too.
No,
I think I would.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Something
probably the Father's Day one would be the third.
Yep, I agree.
And then I don't know, probably just a coin toss between Stephen King and the Bug one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I still would probably put Stephen King one at 4, and they're creeping up.
Yeah, I think.
Which again,
I think so
what a
too.
way to end it. To end it with a crappy one of all of them. But and then it goes back to the prologue and with the kid. And he had thrown his dad had thrown the comic book in the garbage. And the garbage men, I don't know if you have the piece of trivia, the two garbage men that get it, one of them is Tom Savini. So the makeup.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
But
he
I
was the
did
short
notice. So in between the segments, you have the animation of the comic book flipping pages, or you I think it's a couple of them actually. And in the one when they flip past the voodoo doll, the little the send away coupon has been cut out. I caught that when they were doing it through the course of the movie. Yeah. I didn't realize what the voodoo, but it was when they turned the page, you could tell that the corner had been cut away. And I thought, oh, that's something that they used to always do in those old comic books, send away for whatever. So at the end, when the guy's like, hey, look, someone cut out the party or the send away part, I was like, I caught that. But again, I didn't realize it was for the voodoo doll. So I thought that was a nice sort of call back to the beginning, but also a detail that somebody obviously made a point of ensuring was done accurately, and that they placed that little hint earlier in the movie.
I also liked in the comic book, there's an advertisement for Bolt, the family newspaper, that if you sell, you can get like prizes. Because if you remember on all those old comic books back in the 70s and 80s, you could always sell Grit. It was like a newspaper, and they encouraged the kids to try and sell Grit, this newspaper. And if you sold it, you could win prizes. And prizes were like a tennis racket, a tent, or things like a wagon. But in this case, if you sell Bolt, you're going to win things like bows and arrows, pistols and rifles, surveillance equipment, cannons, tanks, and nuclear warheads, which I thought was pretty funny. So. I don't know. I enjoyed that part with the thing, and they also had this the creepy correspondence in the comic too, where fans could like write in stuff and the creep answers them, right? So I don't know. I liked how they incorporated the comic book into it, and also too in a lot of the scenes, like when I think we're starting right from the very first scene when people were scared, they would do a close up on their face, and then in the background there would be like all these red streaks. Like you'd see in a comic book, you know? I liked that. I thought that was kind of stylistic and original. So, like I say, that's what Tom Savini was brought in to do, those kind of things. And a lot of times it looked like there were panels in a comic book, you know, with the action going on in the middle of it. And I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. So it's definitely original. Do you want to rank this movie for me? God only knows.
I give it a rating?
Yeah. Out of 10.
I would give it a 3.
3. Wow, that's pretty low. I think I would give it a 7.
A generous 3.
I give it a 7. I thought it was pretty good. It definitely it collapses at the end with the last segment. I didn't really enjoy that, but the crate is so good as its own segment. It really carries this movie. It's so good it helps carry the movie. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So all right. So on that note, what do you say we have some
fun with Caveman?
All right, my man. It was my movie, so that means it's over to you for trivia. So what would you like me to do?
All right. So in this movie, we had a ton of different performers, some giving larger roles, some giving smaller roles. One of the performers that I did not expect to see in this movie was Ted Danson, who, as you already mentioned, went on to star in Cheers the same year this came out and went on to be a huge TV star. But he was in the movies, along with many of his other Cheers castmates. So I'm going to give you a little trivia that I'm calling Cheers at the Movies.
Okay.
So this is going to be a variation on our Pick the Flick game. Right. I'm going to give you the year and the synopsis of the movie. I want you to tell me the name of the movie, and I wanted you to tell me which Cheers actor is in the movie.
Okay.
Okay. Some of these are a little tougher than others. There's, I think I've got 16 or 18 of them here. Half of these are from the 80s and half of these are a little newer, but the ones that are a little newer, I tried to make them a little easier where I could. So, all right. So, first one we got is from 1986.
Okay.
Description of the movie is: an actor and a chef fathom a plot to fix a horse race and attempt at capitalizing it, while striving to tackle two of the hitmen responsible for the scheme.
In 1986.
Yes. And it's starring someone from Cheers.
Oh, geez. I don't think I know that one. I don't know.
It was called A Fine Mess.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that.
I believe it was directed by Blake Edwards.
Okay.
Any guesses as to which Cheers cast member might have been in it?
No, I don't know. So I'll just take a guess. I'll say Woody Harrelson. No, it was before his time. I'll go with Ted Danson.
Yeah, Ted Danson.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. I had to give you Ted Danson the first one.
All
Okay.
right, of course.
All right, move on to something a little easier here. 1996, the story of a controversial pornography publisher and how he became a defender for free speech.
Oh, that was Woody Harrelson, and we watched it for the show. Oh,
we sure did.
The People versus Larry Flint.
Yes.
It was pretty good. That was a pretty good one.
It was really good. Yeah. All right. From 1995.
Okay.
And I'm going to read you the synopsis, and you're going to think, man, that could be today. But this was a movie from 1995.
From 95.
The U.S. president, low in the opinion polls, gets talked into raising his popularity by trying to start a war against Canada.
Was it Wag the Dog?
It was not Wag the Dog. It was pitched as a comedy, if that helps.
And
that's it.
War with Canada. No. I don't know.
It was a movie called Canadian Bacon.
Oh, that's when the John Candy was in
with John Candy.
Yeah.
And the Cheers alum who was starring in that one. Any guesses?
Louise. I will say George Wendt.
No, it was Rhea Perlman.
Oh, Rhea Perlman. Oh, okay.
Yep.
No idea.
All right. Yeah, I try to put like easy ones next to hard ones. So here we got another, what I think is an easy one. I might have the date wrong on this one because I thought it was a little earlier, but the date I've got here is 1986. And the description of the movie is rookie high school football coach Molly McGrath has a harder time than she expected trying to whip her tough inner city team members into shape.
Man, I mean, that sounds like Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
That is Wildcats. You got it. I mean, first
Okay.
guess. Nice.
So, who from Cheers was in that movie? I'm trying to think. Man, I just remember that Goldie Hawn did a topless scene in that movie. That's all I remember about it. I don't remember anyone from Cheers being in it. I don't know.
It was Woody Harrelson. He was the backup quarterback, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
So, All right. That was also his first pairing with Wesley Snipes. And then they went on to do a whole bunch of movies together. All right. 1986. I guarantee you're going to get this one. A young couple struggles to repair a hopelessly dilapidated house.
Oh, that was The Money Pit.
Yes.
And it was Shelley Long, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, got one.
Okay. I will give you a further hint now.
Sure.
So all of these descriptions are going to have someone from Cheers. You have now hit all four of the people that I've got. So it's only going to be one of these four: Ted Danson, Woody Harrelson, Rhea Perlman, and Shelley Long. Those are the only four that I've got in any of the answers. So.
Oh man, I was really hoping for Cliff Clavin in Empire Strikes Back.
No, that was a little too easy.
Yeah.
But we do have a Star Wars question coming up.
Okay.
All right. 1981. During an extreme heat wave, a beautiful Florida woman and a seedy lawyer engage in an affair while plotting the murder of her rich husband.
Oh, that sounds like Body Heat.
It is Body Heat.
Who the hell was in that from Cheers? I'll just take a guess and say it was Ted Danson.
You're right.
That's a guess.
Yeah. I've never seen it, so I don't know how big his role is. He may have been in for 10 seconds. He might have been in for half the movie. I couldn't tell you. All right. This one's, I think, a relatively easy one for you, too. From 1987.
Okay.
Two women unknowingly share the same man, but when he disappears, both go out looking for him and enter his surprisingly dangerous life.
Oh, and that was from
87.
87. Oh, that doesn't really sound familiar. I don't know.
It was a movie called Outrageous Fortune.
Oh, I never saw
Cheers
that.
alum, do you think might have been in it?
Oh, that Outrageous Fortune was, what's her face? It was Shelley Long, right?
Yes, it was.
No,
All right.
I'm not familiar with I don't know. I just remember her being in this movie, but not much about it. Okay.
All right. I'll be shocked if you get this wrong. But let me get the whole question out first.
Go for it.
It's from 2023, which I know is not typically in your wheelhouse, but I have faith you're going to get this.
All right.
Okay. It's a tough one, but you're going to get it. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get a chance to go to the outside world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among regular humans.
So obviously it's Barbie.
Yes, good for you, man.
And when we reviewed this movie, you suggested that, if I remember correctly, a couple of years ago.
Yes, I did.
And Rhea Perlman was in it.
Yes.
And I remember at the time saying, I thought she was so good. I felt like she was almost Oscar worthy in that scene. It was a small scene at the end, but she was really good in that.
She was really good in that.
Yeah, she really jumped off the screen. Okay.
All right. I'm going to need the full and complete title of this movie. Okay?
Right.
You got to let me read the whole question first. From 2018.
Oh.
During an adventure in the criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his future co-pilot Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian years before joining the Rebel Alliance.
So that's
the full title.
That's Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Yeah, I took my son to see that in the theater when it came out. And Woody Harrelson was in it, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy
Yes,
it.
he is.
Okay.
Nah, it wasn't great.
No.
All right. We're going to go to 1989.
All right.
Okay. While his mom recovers in hospital from a heart attack, John puts his busy life on hold to fly home and help his elderly father around the house. John's son later joins them, and they all truly bond for the first and tragically final time. 1989.
1989. It's not Three Men and a Baby, is it?
It is not.
No, because that was Ted Danson. He did that, and that was right around 89. I don't know.
It's a movie called Dad. It's also starring Jack Lemmon.
That was Ted Danson, though. Was in
Ted
that,
Danson.
right?
Yes, it was.
I remember
yes.
that. I don't. I'm not familiar with the movie, but I for some reason I know Ted Danson was in it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. 1996. You may not get this one. 1996. An amateur state bowling champion whose professional aspirations are prematurely dashed hopes to ride a new bowling prodigy to success and riches by becoming his manager.
It sounds like, is it Kingpin?
Yes, it is.
Was it Woody Harrelson?
Yes, it was.
Yes. Okay. Have not seen the movie, but I have not.
It is great.
But I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the broad strokes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's quite funny. Bill Murray's in it.
Yeah.
He not a lot, but man, he's really good too. All right. If you don't get this one, I think we're going to have to shut down the podcast.
Okay.
It's from 1982. I need you to let me finish reading the whole description. Okay. A mild-mannered morgue attendant and his new coworker, along with his prostitute neighbor, convince him of running a prostitution ring out of the morgue.
Well, it's Night Shift. It's one of my favorite
There you
movies.
go.
I love that one.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, so now I got to think about who from
Wait, who's the
Cheers was
Cheers?
in that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Now you got me thinking. George Wendt wasn't in it, and Kelsey Grammer, Ted Danson. Oh, Shelley Long.
I'm like,
She was the
she was
the
what?
prostitute. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Oh jeez.
I'm like, is he drunk? What's going on over there?
And
Holy cow.
she's in her panties and everything, and she's so hot. I'm like, oh my god, I'm losing my mind
man.
over here.
You must be.
God.
Okay, we only got a couple more to go.
Jeez.
All right. Wow. I honestly, I thought you were doing a bit. I didn't realize you were genuinely so. All right. This one you may not
Brain
get. A little
fart.
tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, 1996.
Yep.
There's a kid's movie, 1996. A girl gifted with a keen intellect and psychic powers uses both to get even with her callous family and free her kindly school teacher from the tyrannical grip of a sadistic headmistress.
Oh gosh, I'm not sure what that one is. I don't know.
It's a movie called Matilda.
Matilda. That was that with like Danny DeVito
And his wife.
Oh, Rhea Perlman, of course.
There you go. I don't think they're married anymore, but they were at the time.
Yeah.
All right. 2009.
Okay.
Trust me. I got a good feeling you're gonna get this one. 2009.
I don't know.
A shy student trying to reach his family in Ohio, a gun-toting bruiser in search of the last Twinkie, and a pair of sisters striving to get to an amusement park join forces in a trek across a zombie-filled America.
Oh, is that
2009.
Is it Zombieland?
It is Zombieland.
And it's Woody Harrelson.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. Coming down the stretch. I got two here. If you get either of these wrong, you're going to have to walk the walk of shame. All right. 1995. The family of a 1970s TV show is now placed in the 1990s, where they're even more square and out of place than ever.
That is the Brady Bunch movie.
Yes, it is.
Who the hell from Cheers was in that movie? None of the main cast. It had to be a side thing. I only remember like Tim Matheson. Who else would have been? I don't know who from Cheers would be in that movie. I don't know. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It's Shelley Long. She plays the I'm blanking. For some reason, tonight, I have just got Shelley Long blanked out of my mind for some reason.
No
I don't
kidding.
know why.
Wow.
God, that's crazy. There's two where Shelley Long is like right there, and I just couldn't think of her.
No kidding. And you also Outrageous Fortune, but you didn't know that movie. So,
yeah.
All right. Last one.
Damn, man. Shelley Long.
1987.
Yep. 87, ready? Sorry, you said?
87.
87.
All right.
Okay, yep.
87.
Yep.
Okay. Let me finish reading the whole question. Jack, Peter, and Michael spend most of their time having flings with several women in their apartment. Their life changes when a mysterious bundle appears at their doorstep.
That is Three Men and a Baby.
Yes, it is.
And that's Ted Danson.
Yes, it is. I'm like, I better both start and end with Ted Danson on this one. So yeah, you did pretty good. Yeah, there was a few you missed out, but I didn't think you'd get them all. But no, good job. All right.
And like I'm gonna admit, like I'm a Shelley Long fan too. I always thought she was pretty good in some of her roles, and for whatever reason, I just blacked out thinking of her. I don't know why. It's crazy. Just thinking about the guys that were in Cheers and couldn't do it. Okay, so good job. I did my best. Now it's over to you. I picked this movie. It's time for you to suggest a movie that we do next. What do you want to do?
Well, I was originally going to have you watch Quiz Show because I literally just watched it yesterday, and I'm like, this movie's great. We're going to, but I'm like, no, we'll save that for another time.
We can save it.
I'm actually listening to my roundabout way here. I was listening to the radio today, and they played a song that I hadn't heard in a long time, and then I remembered that song appears in a movie, and then so I've been thinking about the movie all day, and I think I'm going to get you.
Hold on, what was the song?
Yeah. Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party. Okay, I don't know if I'm familiar with it. I'm sure I've heard
Danny Elfman is the composer, is in the band Oingo Boingo.
That's how he got started,
he,
right? Oingo Boingo.
Yeah. Anyway, the movie, and funny enough, you've mentioned a little bit about this earlier, is Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield from 1986.
You know, I think I've only ever seen parts of that movie. I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the whole thing beginning to end, which is going to be a shock to you because you like that movie. That's one of your favorite.
Oh my God, I love this movie, and I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised with how much you enjoy it, and I think how well it holds up. Although it has been a little while since I saw it. I believe this is available on Tubi. I looked early. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi, right? And you might have to watch a commercial or two.
Tubi. I like watching.
Yeah,
Tubi.
no,
That's fine.
I love this movie. This is one of my my guilty pleasure movies. I know all the dialogue backwards and forwards. You get Robert Downey Jr. He's like 22 years old, and you're like, oh my God, that guy's going to be Iron Man one day. No, this movie's fantastic. I love it, and we'll come back next week and talk about it. I'm looking forward to watching it again because it has been a while, but yeah.
And as I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of my family. No respect.
Yeah,
no respect.
You mentioned Rodney Dangerfield earlier, and I was like, oh my God, can you like see the notes through the computer here? Like,
God,
what's going on?
Okay, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna watch Back to School from 1985, and then we're gonna come back here, or 1986, sorry, and come back here next week, and we're gonna review it. And we'll do that. But until then, I'm Chris McBride. You're Derek Myers. And we both want to say thanks for taking the time to listen to Pop Goes Your World, the pop culture podcast for the generations.
Thanks for listening to Pop Goes Your World. You can contact Chris and Derek at popgoesyourworld.com. Please take a minute and review the podcast on iTunes or wherever you download and listen to the show.